Hey, everyone, this is Holly, and I am now live on YouTube. We're going to be talking about, are you an old soul? So one of my regular followers came on, and because he follows, or he or she, I think it is, follows astrology and Vedic astrology. And he goes, oh, if you've got North Node in your 12th house, that means you're an old soul in Vedic astrology. And I'm always open to learn something new. Did some research. Sure enough, that's what it was. Because he's like, I have North Node in the 12th house. And then I looked at my chart and I was like, I have North Node in the 12th house. But I didn't know for the longest time. And that's how you know if you're an old soul. And I'm going to give you some tips of how you know if you're an old soul as well. But head over to my TikTokers, head over to my YouTube and search for Ask Holly Hall. Go into the live chat there because I won't be taking many readings on TikTok for free here. I will be doing it on my YouTube. I'm really trying to migrate you guys over to YouTube because I prefer. Thank you, Amy. Thank you, Amy. Thank you, Amy, so much. Because I want to use YouTube as my main platform. I'm black and white here too. And I do like to do my TikToks black and white, but not my lives. But I couldn't see. I tried to change it and it didn't work. We are looking at what is your North Node. Now it's interesting because my North Node was always in my 11th house. And since my North Node was in my 11th house, I didn't think that I had. But I had a friend years ago say to me, your time is different because that 1 year that I was born, they didn't turn the clocks back. And that completely changed my house placements. And it made a lot of sense when the house placements changed and shifted. Now, I want you guys to take a look at other things that your past life is. So the past life is also your moon and whatever is in your 12th house, as well as your Pluto. When I see somebody with Pluto, like let's say conjunct their moon or square their sun, I'm like, you have a past life with your mom, or you have a past life with your dad. You have a past life with a sibling. That'll usually be Mercury or Mars or something in the third house. But there are ways that you can discover if you're an old soul. But I want to tell you why you don't want to be an old soul. Everybody wears it as a badge of honor. I'm an old soul. You have Pluto conjunct moon. Could be that you're an old soul as well. But it also means that you have a past life relationship with your mom. And when it's conjunct, it really depends on what sign it's in. That could mean that it is a difficult and challenging relationship in this lifetime, or it's a very pleasant one. You feel really connected, right? Past life with my mom. Yes. Scorpio. Okay. That is powerful because the Pluto second sign is Scorpio. It's people kind of argue whether it is or not, but I see it as very Scorpion energy, Pluto, and also your moon being in Scorpio. So there's a lot of trust issues. Your mom was supposed to be your safety net on a regular basis, and possibly you didn't feel secure that safety net was always in place. You can go to, there's a link at the bottom of this live where you can find out what your moon sign is. Tomorrow, I believe it is. Yeah, tomorrow I'm going to be doing what is your moon sign and what does that mean for you. And then the next day, Wednesday, I'm going to be talking about Carney and Canada. So Carney, yes, hidden secrets, very much so. Very lack of trust for mom, and also the history of a relationship with Scorpio and Pluto is that there is a lineage of women after women after women that have had sexual abuse, that have had psychological abuse, or have had undiagnosed psychological illnesses, and a lot of death, right? A lot of death and dying, and maybe even fear of death. And she's a Scorpio sun too. Woohoo! Boy, you guys got one heck of a relationship going on there. But you know what I like about that is the Phoenix rising. The Scorpio energy is the snake, the scorpion, or the phoenix. And you can use this as a phoenix rising. Therefore, you and your mom, you got my attention all the way from Norway. Yay. I got a couple clients in Norway. I just worked with one today. You and your mom can have a soul family connection, a soul mate connection. Now, here are the 5 ways that you're going to know if you're in a if you are an old soul. If you're looking at your astrological chart, I do sidereal Vedic astrology, then you're looking at your Pluto, your moon, your 12th house, and taking a look at where are you? Do you have a lot of Sag, Capricorn, Aquarius, and Pisces energy? Now, if you're pointing at Western astrology, then I want all of you Aries specifically earlier to look, because that means you're a Pisces. That means you're an old soul as well. And I'm going to tell you why you don't want to be an old soul. And I'm exaggerating a bit. You do. Very good. This person knows her chart, or his. I apologize. Is when you're an old soul, it's tougher. Life is tougher. Life is more difficult. You come here as a healer. You've chosen your path from many lifetimes. You've chosen your skill set and where you want to hone in on your skill sets. So, for instance, you might be an emotional healer, and you've experienced many lifetimes where you've developed that ability to be an emotional healer. And so you're going to come into this lifetime with let me say, some students, some proteges. And those students and proteges will most likely be your mother and your father and siblings. And this won't be an easy relationship because there's a sense of being broken. There is a lineage of being broken, and you want to fix it. So you're going to rise above. You're going to rise above by being that person who is going to be hurt and damaged. And there's going to be some loneliness and abandonment. And you're going to show to them, I got this down pat. I'm not going to be affected by you. I'm not going to hurt you. And even though you continue to hurt me back. So an old soul is a very challenging relationship with this lifetime, because it's asking you to use your skill sets. So you imagine if you go to school and you get your PhD to be a doctor, and you specialize in cancer patients because when you were younger, someone really near and dear to you died of cancer. And all you do is day in and day out is work with cancer patients. That's hard. Can you imagine? That is such a difficult, courageous, brave job. Knowing that you've got a need to heal because of a childhood wound as well. Difficult. So this is what this lifetime is as well. I wish I was a young soul. Old soul is no fun. It is no fun. It's not a lot of fun at all. But a lot of people are going to be healed because of you, because you are showing up. And hopefully you do show up. If you're that child that grew up with an alcoholic parent, your job is to cure your own addictions and to help other people who have addiction personalities. You may grow up and want to be a psychologist or a psychiatrist, or you might want to work in a rehab, or you may just have a whole bunch of people in your personal life show up with alcoholic issues. Some of them can be partners. It's not a lot of fun when it's a partner. Many times I say to people, can you please do this for your living as a career? Because if you don't, you're going to find it in your personal life. And my TikTokers, I'm hoping that you'll go over to my YouTube channel, and that's youtube.com/c/Ask Holly Hall. I'm calling you out. Yeah. So you are that person, right? And you, I'm not sure what your real name is, but it looks like it's Hira. Uh, with people that have past life, they also have a lot of knowledge, just a knowing. You just know when things are off, when things are wrong, when people are not good for you. You just have this clear understanding, and you can't convince anyone to that you have this understanding and this knowing. When you've got Pluto with your moon, then yeah, Chiron in the 8th house is very difficult. Chiron can be good. It's the bridge between as above, so below. It's the bridge between your human self and your spiritual self. And it's the lessons that you need to learn to continue to keep them together and not be separate, not separate yourself. You see, when we delve into spirituality, we can start separating ourselves from our human self. And that's not always good. It's not good. It's kind of an escape. You're spiritually bypassing your mission here on this earth. When you have Pluto, for instance, up against Mercury or Moon or Mars, you've got the mind of a psychiatrist or the mind of a psychotherapist. And you've got a deep, deep knowing of what other people's fears are, and you can smell bullshit a million miles away. When you're an old soul, without looking at your astrological chart, I want you to look at 5 different things. Did you have a very, very difficult childhood? Did you feel that, what's my dominant planet? I'll tell you in a minute. Did you feel dismissed, that your needs weren't being met? Almost like your parents gave you too much freedom. Like they just left you alone to do your own thing, the way that you want to do things. And if you're someone who needs attention and you need love and you desire that love, then you're going to feel like you suffered. You know, I had similar experiences. I had good parents considering what they've been through, but it was not like leave it to Beaver, right? Considering what they've been through, they did good. However, I'm pretty much an orphan right now. And my mother hasn't spoken to me in 15 years, and my dad, he tried, but it wasn't like the father-daughter relationship that I would have chosen. But it's okay because I accept them. I'm okay with it. I'm perfectly fine. They did really good considering. I want you to take a look at what your king planet is. And what she's talking about is your planet with the highest degree. Okay. And here, I want you to talk to me about what are you going to tell me about what my king planet is? Now, it really depends on which one you're looking at. My Jupiter and my moon is my king planet because it's at 26 degrees. Capricorn. Capricorn, right up against Saturn in the 7th house. Don't even get me going about relationships. I've been in a very happy relationship for the last 3 or 4 years, married to the same man for 20 years, but I was 2 marriages before that. And I say very happy because we had to work at our relationship and we succeeded on that. So dominant from what I learned isn't the highest degree. I think that's called something else. They call it a king planet, right? They call it a king planet, or there's another fancy Vedic name. So you tell me, it sounds like you know more Vedic astrology. I'm sidereal astrology. You tell me what I'm looking for and I'll let you know. With that, now I do have a stellium that starts with Uranus. So with that being said, if you've had a difficult, challenging life, then that's one that you're an old soul. Number 2 is if you felt that you didn't fit in, right? If you felt that you didn't fit in because you wanted to practice a lifestyle that nobody accepted. So let's say I want to grow up and I want to write books on how to use crystals to heal people. That means that you're an old soul. That's not gonna make you a lot of money in this lifetime. Very rare that it would. What else can you do? Because we don't have to. Our mission, we do not have to do it as a job. We can do it as a hobby. Okay. So I use AstroSeek too, find my dominant plan, most aspected hits, angles, etc. It's got the most. Well, I would think that a stellium would be that for 5 planets in a stellium: Uranus, Moon, Venus, Pluto, and Mercury, which is about 8 degrees. Mercury Mercury is the furthest from Pluto. But the one that has the most hits is Saturn. Hands down, Saturn. There's a conjunct, 2 squares, 2, 4, 4 trines. Okay. And so that one is, so I guess that's my dominant planet right up again. And my moon. Well, my moon and my Saturn, they both have the most hits, all of them. Now, because they're side by side, they're like 24 and 26 degrees side by side. UK, when will I move home and get a financial break? You're going to get a financial break as soon as you don't need finances that, to make you happy. And you guys are laughing, right? But this is a life I'm living. I'm living this life. I'm not just talking about it. I am living as somewhat of a nomad in sold the house. We just bought a 26-foot trailer. We're going to start traveling all across the states. We had a 28-foot trailer 3 years ago. We went all across the states. And yeah, AstroSeek is showing me the same thing with the moon and all those hits. And so that's the first thing, is letting go of the need for abundance, letting go of the mortgage, letting go of the job you can't stand. And I'm doing a job I love, absolutely love. And I had many jobs I did not love, but I was always self-employed most of the time. You're already in a state of having financial freedom, but you're being way too responsible for your job right now. And you've got a job that is where you're in management and you're slave to the paycheck, and you really don't want to change your job because you're afraid that you won't make that money somewhere else. I would start window shopping. If you start window shopping, then there is a job that is going to come your way in 2026, and that could be as early as the first 3 weeks of January. You don't have a lot of time, so you better get her done fast. Okay, I'll be here at 8 o'clock every day, guys. Star says, wow. Why are you saying wow, Star? How is that? How is that resonating with you? So CBD, I don't see anyone else here. No, not yet. I know. Where is everybody, CBD? Our CBD. CBD. Do you need some CBD? CRB. I don't know where everybody is. It's Monday. Maybe everybody's just, but there's, I don't know, there's 7 or 8 or so people on my TikTok. But I want you guys, come on over to my YouTube. It was for you, Star. That was for you. Oh my gosh, you know this, how many times this happens? When I look up somebody's chart and they're like, "Oh, I wasn't paying attention." Pay attention, right? Of course I do year forecasts. Okay. Moving of a home, if you've got to put that up ASAP, and please don't look for a home that's more expensive than what you have now. That would happen for you in January, but you've got to start. You got to put boots on the ground. Otherwise, it's not going to happen. Not that early. The next chance is June of 2026. So CRB, this is for you because you asked me about the 12th house and that you're an old soul. And the old soul, which I'm just learning, and now I got another client who is, I think she's Vedic, East Indian by nature, are you? And Vedic. And I looked up my chart And all this time, CRB, up until a few years ago, I had my whole stellium in the first house, which gave me a Leo rising until and put my north node in my 11th house until I discovered that the 1 year that I was born, that there was no time change. We didn't have daylight savings time change. And that changed that shift everything in my chart so that my stellium was in my second house and now my north node was in my 12th house. And I would say here's a third thing. I've been doing 5 things of how you know you're an old soul besides what you can see astrologically. And we talked about Pluto, where Pluto is in your chart and who you have past life relationships with. Pluto moon is your mom, Pluto sun is your dad, Pluto Mercury or Mars is a sibling. Pluto in the 3rd house hitting a Mercury Mars is a sibling. But you have such a soothing voice. Thank you. A lot of my clients say that. You go to Insight Timer and listen to my sign up there and get my downloads of my talks and my meditations and affirmations I have there. So Vedic and sidereal too. So CRB, I've got somebody in TikTok, and I hope that she'll jump over to YouTube very soon. Ask Holly Hall, who meant that who was saying, what is my dominant planet? What's my dominant planet? Which is a planet that has the most hits, which is my sun and my moon. It's got the most aspects, and it does. It's got like hands down way more than any of my other ones in the 7th house. Now, the third one is when you feel that you just want to check out. Like, I'm done with this earth plane. I'm good to go. Like, you're not going to do anything. You're not suicidal. You're not going to end your life. But if you got abducted by aliens tomorrow, you'd be okay. I'd be good. Just take me off this planet. And that's an old soul because they're done with it. My really good friend, Nicola Farmer, she even said the same thing to me. One of the most highly spiritual people I know. Hi, magical intuitive. And when we have that feeling, and I had that feeling 4 years ago, up until about 6 months ago. And I wasn't going to do anything about it. I'm too chicken because I'd probably fail and end up like in a wheelchair for the rest of my life or something. I would never do anything. I would never do that. But I had enough of it. But I know now that I have a very important role here, and that is working with my thousands of clients to help guide them to find out what their spiritual version of them is. What is their mission spiritually? We're doing some readings as well. And if just did a reading for Star, but if you want to know if you're an old soul, and you don't want to be an old soul, it's really difficult. I'm not saying you don't want to be. You do want to be. I want to be. But it's challenging because what you're here to do is to bring up to speed all the other ones that are younger souls as well. But you can be a really lousy old soul. Like, you can be doing a really bad job at it. You're pompous, you got a big ego, you're getting caught up in the monetary system, in the matrix, right? And CRB says, this civilization is boring to me. No meaning to be here except raising my kids. This is done. Like, I finished my job. So in my book right here, 101 Answers from the Universe, you're going to see right there, 101 Answers from the Universe. The first 6 questions, and it does come across like conversations with God, and no disrespect, but I never clicked with the idea of that book. And then freaking 20 years later, I write a book because Source told me to write this book like this. And I asked, Magical Intuitive, if you think you're an old soul, you probably are. I asked, what is the meaning of life? And this is the answer that I got. There is no meaning of life. You give it meaning. Without you giving it meaning, it means nothing. And so therefore, I could say, what does it mean? I'm going to do something really. What is the meaning of this to me? Well, this might not mean anything to you guys, and it probably doesn't. But it means everything to me because it's my favorite frickin' mug. It keeps my tea hot, like, for hours. If I put the lid on it, I can leave it out in my cold while I go to the gym and come back, and it's still frickin' hot. So this means a lot to me. I like the color. It's one of my favorite colors, and it I gave it meaning. When it was sitting at Tim Hortons, because that's where I bought it from, when it was sitting at Tim Hortons on the shelf, it had no meaning, except for whoever the person was that put it on the shelf. When it was in the factory, it had some meaning. The person who worked there and got a paycheck for making these, it had meaning there. And I know that sounds really boring too, right? CRB, but you can give life some really good meaning. So CRB, it means you haven't found your passion, your mission, and you're a musician. What meaning do you put to your music, and how do you inspire and entertain other people that listen to your music, or the people that you're in the band with? What meaning do you have for them? Creativity. I do music, art, painting, architectural design. That is my meaning. There you go. And so if you were to leave this earth, you leave form, you would no longer be in form. And now you're just in space, floating around like stardust. You have nothing tangible. You don't look like anything. You don't do anything. You're just floating around energy, feeling peaceful because you don't have the human side of you that has too many thoughts and too many ideas and too many memories. You don't have any of that, right? It's gone. Wouldn't that be boring? Wouldn't that be boring? I think it would be very boring. And that's why we come here. But Earth is a playground, one of the rare ones. I'm sure there's a lot more in some other galaxy like ours, but this one's a little messed up. And we want our playground back. We want our heaven back. This is where we're supposed to come to play and have fun and be in harmony and live in form and put on this monkey suit, this avatar, and enjoy it. But it's been invaded by negative energy. And we're taking it back. We're taking our power back. Do you get that? Does that make sense to you? Number 4 is when you want to make a difference. This is how you know you're an old soul. You want to make a difference and you have no idea what to do. You feel a calling. And so there is this feeling of emptiness. There is this feeling about, how can I make a difference in the world? And so CRB says, I think about deeper meaning. Maybe we don't need to take life so seriously. We do and we don't, because there's a lot of players on the field, and all you want to do is your own job in the game. Think about it as football. If you're paying too much attention to what all the other players are doing and how they might be not living up to the expectation we have of them to win the game, and that's all we're doing is we're focusing on the lousy coach and the lousy referee and the person who was supposed to kick the ball as far as, and it didn't get there and all this other stuff, right? The defense and the offense. And if that's not your job as a member of the team to worry about what the offense is doing because you're in the net, or that's hockey, right? Then you're not supposed to pay attention. You just do what you're there to do. You have a role, you have an expertise, you were hired to play that role, and you were hired to be the best that you can be. And that's the meaning of your job as a team player. Yeah, you might have the biggest jerk of a coach in the world. You might be sponsored by a community or an organization that you don't believe in. But that's not your job. Your job is to be the best that you can be. And if you want a deeper meaning to it, and you're working as a paycheck, making enough money to pay the bills and go on vacation and buy food at the minimal that you need, then you do something that gives you meaning and that supports and helps other people. My job, I would do for free. If we lived in a non-monetary world, I would do this for free. I did get 10,000 likes. Amy, did you do that? Amy, did you give me 10,000 likes? Thank you. Ask Holly Hall is where you can find me on YouTube. And if I did a reading for you, you go back on YouTube and you're going to see it on YouTube again. So think about that. Magic intuitive, what kind of meaning can you put on life, in life? And it's always, what does it mean to you? I had a client today in Norway, actually, who reached out to me and has two family members that is very disturbing to her in her life, very upsetting. And she wanted to know what can I do to have a better relationship with them? Here's their charts. What should I do? And I said, the first thing you need to do is to take a look at why do they have to be the ones that fulfill your needs? Why did you put so much meaning into your relationship with them that will give you gratification and satisfaction? And so the meaning that she's putting on those two people in her life is the problem, not the people themselves. Think about that one. So the fourth thing is you have to take a look at what kind of meaning are you putting in your life. And if you can't find what that meaning is, just keep searching for it or have a mini reading with me. AskHollyHall.com. 15 minutes or a destiny one if you have the money, and you'll have the whole thing down pat. You'll know everything about why you're here and the meaning of it. If you want to look it up yourself. Look at your north node, look at your south node because you want to know what you're not supposed to be doing here. And take a look at if you want it to be your job, if you want it to be your career, because we face it, our career can take up anywhere from 8 to 10 hours a day, 5 days a week. So if you want it to be your career and you want it to be your source of income, then look at your 10th house. Look at your second, your sixth, and your 10th house. And even if there's no planets in it, what's there? What's there now? Single parent. The father was my big part. The father was my big part of life. Not sure what that means. The fifth way that you know you're an old soul is you've come here and you've done your job. Like you've known ever since you were a kid what you were supposed to do, and you did it. Now, that doesn't mean that if you don't have that, you're not an old soul. That doesn't mean that at all. You could not know any of that and still be an old soul. But you knew. You were that one that was raised by an alcoholic parent and chose to help alcoholic addiction as an adult, as a career, or maybe even just helping those as a part-time volunteer once a month. So for instance, you being the father, you were the single parent. I messaged you earlier, I finally got my birth time. Oh, good, Trishika. Trishika, that's such a cool name. Okay, hopefully, Trishika, I got that email from you and I'll take a look at it. He passed away, wonderful soul, who every Tuesday would pack up hot lunches and stand downtown in our area and hand out free hot lunches to anyone who lined up. Anyone. We have a lot of homeless people where I live. A lot have drug issues, a lot, and, of course, most of those are the ones that lined up, and some of them didn't need it, and as I know somebody would say, "Well, I did that, and there were so many people taking advantage of it, just taking it for a ride." And in Buddhism, we learn that if somebody wants to take the shirt off your back, if somebody wants the wallet in your pocket, you give it to them because some reason they need it more than you do. I know. That's like, but if somebody stands in line who you know is perfectly capable of getting a job and feeding themselves, and they still want a freebie, there's a part of you that has to be okay with that. And if there's a part of you that's not okay with it, then you have to ask yourself why. And I'm sure there's a very valid reason, but you have to ask yourself why. So, are you an old soul? Did you come here to make a difference in somebody else's life that was very difficult? Is it your mom, your dad, your brother, your sister? Many old souls in this era, since I would say since the 1960s, were not born to their soul family. You separated from your soul family. All of us dispersed. We needed everyone everywhere, all hands on deck. And we had to disperse. We couldn't clan together. The power of the tribe was no longer valuable in the Western world. Trishika says, I agree with that. So Amy says that her mother on TikTok, that her mother and I have our Pluto in the 8th house. So you guys are all private investigators. You take a deeper look at the meaning of why people do what they do. Sometimes it can be to your detriment. If you're constantly thinking, why did they do that? Why did they hurt me? Why did they act that way? Whether it's a large organization or just an individual person. Sometimes we can just overthink things too deeply. But if you really want to understand the human condition, Pluto in the 8th house is going to make you do it. It's really going to make you do it. It's going to have you take a huge psychological look at life. Look at my latest YouTube. I put up a video last night about what it's like to live in a place of bliss because I've been experiencing this off and on for over a year. And lately, it's been more on than off. Before, it was more off than on. And can you send me an astro chart just so I can follow the planets? You can go to astro.com and you can draw up yourself one. You got to look at the sidereal, or you can go to AstroSeek. That's probably the easiest because there's some fiddling around with astro.com. And you could draw one up. I don't know if I have my $5 one where I look it up for you, and for $5, I send it your way. Now, the one where I talk about bliss recently is that I did on YouTube, and you can check it out, is it's a really weird feeling when you get to that place where you desire nothing. You don't desire more money, you don't desire a better job, you don't desire a relationship, you don't desire changes in your health or in your physical body, you don't desire changes to your home or your environment, you don't desire to be happier, you don't desire to be financially free, you desire nothing. It's a weird freaking feeling. It's really weird because it feels like almost like a room with an echo. And it feels so hollow. It feels so empty. You still feel good. it's like this it's like this duality way of thinking, and it takes time. It's taking me time to get used to not having a desire. Now, I'm not 100% there because I still want my 85% chocolate, and I still look at food a little bit like I pretty much just eat whole foods, raw and fish, and I don't always enjoy it. It's kind of boring way to eat sometimes, and sometimes I wish I did enjoy it like I did in the past. For instance, I used to drink too much. I used to smoke, not that much, hardly ever, but it was a social thing that I did, and I don't miss the habits, but I miss the what happened around it. Like, I was more social. I would go out and talk with people at lunch break. I would stay on the phone and talk, smoking a cigarette, having a drink. It made me more extroverted, and you think I'm an extroverted person, I'm not at all. I'm very, very introverted. My husband's extroverted. So you believe in systematic constellation. I'm not sure what you mean by systematic constellation. I don't, and it's not a belief. I literally look at astronomy through the sky, and I'm reading with the way what astronomy is showing me astrologically, because we've gone off about 24 days in the last 2,000 years. The Earth is on a wobble, and it's shifting even more. We're in a big pole shift right now. The sun's in a pole shift. Uh, yeah, smoking's tough. I've tried a few times. I'm an expert at quitting smoking. 'Cause I quit like 25 times, but I haven't smoked in, I can't remember, 7, 8 years now. And I don't think about it. I don't want a cigarette. I have no desire for it. But sometimes the social aspect of it is what I miss. I was more into numerology all my life. And let's take a look at, I was more into numerology all my life for the last 5 years. I get into astrology, combining those two working uh, are good. What do you think about numerology? I like numerology. Numerology is, I use it to a degree. Like, I don't have it down pat. Like, oh, if you're number 3, if you're number 7, if you're number 9, this is what it means. I look at things like when we were looking for a home, I always want my home to add up to 5. In Chinese numerology, 5 is a forever home. And I have had 3 houses, 2 houses that added up to number 5, and the one house that was a number 11. So you don't break down 11 as it is. But the more that I started following Robert E. Grant, and he's like this freaking insane, brilliant mathematician. And he looks at just system of numbers around the pyramids and the ancient art and the Da Vinci Code, and math is everywhere. Like, I come to the clear understanding that we're all just zeros and ones, and there's a geometrical equation. I love, like, this right here is the golden ratio, right? So numbers are, it's a real thing. And in astrology, there's a lot of math involved in it and numbers involved too. But that's because it's showing you a geometrical equation. Like a trine is where the math lines up to somewhat make a trine, or an opposition, which is a 180. Sorry, I'm French. I had to look Google. We mean constellational families, haha. But it's to heal. Oh, I know constellation families for sure. That's a cool thing. There's a great movie about constellation families. It's a movie done in Turkey, and it's subtitled, but it's dubbed, but it's really, really good. I don't usually like that stuff, but it's really good if you look it up. I can't remember. I think it was Another You, I think it's called. Very good. I'm Life Part 3, Personal 8, Destiny 6. Oh, interesting. Life Path 3. So break that down. What is what's the addition to it? So is 1 your name? Like, I think my birth date is I'm a 3. or my name. I don't know. So I know in numerology, you break down, you add up your birth date or your name. I'm not sure where you get the destiny is 6. And destiny is your name. Nice. Now, do you go by your current name? Well, your name would have always stayed the same, but I have my married name now. And then I have my business name that everybody knows me by, but I have my maiden name. I think there's a difference too. One, like your maiden name is one means something, and your destiny might be the current name that you use. I have 2 names. Like my real name is actually Holly Ann, Holly Dash Ann, but I've always gone by Holly. Always. Oh, and your life path is your birth. Yeah. So my birth is number 3. I don't really like what it says though. I'm like, okay, I guess that's me, but it's nothing. I don't know if it's special. And personal is day of birth, which mine would be number 2. To heal trauma with a group of people. Yeah, I know that's family constellations. I did that years ago, like literally like 15 years ago. I did a family constellation thing. It blew me away, and I'd love to learn it, but I'm not sure how you can do it online. And I work with a lot of my clients online, but it's really cool if you guys can do a family constellation one. You should Another You should take a look at that movie that was done in Turkey. Uh, it's a whole series, not even a movie. It's a series. Like I was so upset when it was over because I just was so into it. It was all about family constellations. Uh, so I would be a 2, I guess. My personal would be a 2, right? But that's a lot of people, and that's where I get a little bit. I think human garage or human, not human garage. That's fascia stuff. Uh, Human keys, the gens or whatever. I think that's really cool too. I mean, it brings in Kabbalah and astrology and numerology. I think that's super cool. So I like that. Destiny is your name given at birth. This name only. Okay, so it'd be Holly Ann and my last name. I would take a look at that. You're going to get me to going down another rabbit hole. Yes, in 2 weeks, I will go to do a day training family constellation. Family constellations, if you guys can do it, go for it. Absolutely. So, do any of you feel that you're an old soul? Or do you feel like you're a young soul? Brand spanking new. Now, there's another difference here. Is do you feel like you're new as a human being on this planet, like you've not been here before? This is not a place that you come frequently. I know I did CRB's chart, and he has not been here frequently. This is not the planet that he goes on. These are what I coined as Uranians. I have a stellium of 5 planets, and it's led by Uranus. So to me, that makes me a Uranian. If you have a significant conjunction with other planets and Uranus is right there, specifically if it's leading in the way, you're a Uranus. If you have a lot of uh, Aquarius in your chart, you're a Uranian. If you have a lot of 11th house stuff in your chart, you're a Uranian. If you have a Uranus close to your ascendant, you're a Uranian. And that means you have not frequented this earth and you are completely sacrificially volunteering here. Amy says she does. She has that. Yeah. You've completely volunteered bravely and courageously to come to this planet now to shift. And that doesn't mean you have to be a leader. Followers are just as important. We need followers to follow the way, whatever way that is. Right? I feel like an old soul between been told I'm an old soul. Anyways, I always felt like I'm at the wrong time, and you're an Aquarius. You're at the wrong time as an Aquarius because you are Uranian. So you don't always frequent this planet. And the way that you know is you feel like an odd duck ever since you were a kid. You feel like you couldn't fit in. It was hard to make friends. You felt You try to force yourself to fit in. Like, I literally molded myself to be what I found on TV shows. Literally, I was like, "Oh, Leave It to Beaver? Okay, that's what I'm supposed to be like. I'm gonna follow that. Little House on the Prairie, that's what parents are supposed to be like? Okay, I'm gonna follow that." Right? So you are and he says, "Exactly." When you recognize that you are eccentric or an odd duck or you are Iranian, own it. Be that woo-woo weirdo. Do things differently. Don't go by the beat of somebody else's drum. Let people know that you think differently, that you act differently, that your actions are different. Because if you don't, you're hiding and you're pretending to be this average, everyday human, and the other ones that are like us won't recognize you. And that's why you're lonely. And that's why you won't have friends because they won't show up. I've lived my whole life without a bestie. I've had friends here and there, and I called them my besties, but they really weren't. And I tried hard, trust me, almost too hard. I think I tried too hard. I think I still do. I get ghosted a lot. But I found my bestie, and I don't know if I'm her bestie. I know she really values our relationship, and I know she has a lot of friends, and we get together once a week, and we do what I call walk and talk, and we'll walk for 2 hours and just talk, 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 like it's insane. Hey, Justice Warrior, do you have do you have a YouTube channel? I don't know, I'm getting that vibe. And we just connect so much. It's like we're catching up. We can't talk fast enough and we can't talk enough. Like we'll literally just sit there after we've hiked and keep talking. And we're like, I gotta go. I gotta get going. And and I hope in the next life we find each other earlier. But I want you guys to know this is not where we frequent. Earth is not it's Earth is in such has such a negative ionic energy. I don't know why I said ionic. Is that a word? Because Source just gave me that word. That it's 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 causing negative energy throughout the entire galaxies, and we have to fix it. It's like that neighbor that doesn't take care of their lawn and doesn't take care of their house, and it puts down the value of the rest of the neighborhood, and everybody just wants them to clean up their act. That's it. We're that neighbor in the galaxy. We need to clean up our act. Right on. I have been recently letting family and people know of my interest in what peeps call the woo woo. The woo seems to make the most sense, and it does. For me to be my friend, you need to be something special. Most of them are just people. I know. It's true. And we can I don't know, we can talk about anything. I could probably spend every day with her, and we would talk and talk and talk and talk and talk. It's such a great connection, and she values it too, and whenever I tease that I might move away, that I might move out west, she's like, "No, you can't." And I wouldn't want to either but I hate this cold. Toronto is so cold right now. I don't know if any of you guys are in Toronto, but it's, like, so freaking cold right now. I'm sick of it. But we're going to Mexico in 2 weeks for 18 days, I think, something like that. Yeah, and then we're gonna come back. Who knows what the weather's gonna be like, and then we're gonna go back out mid-February and go head our way to Arizona. It's so cold. I know this is not the time of year that we are usually this cold. There are people who are in the States who think that Canada is cold all year round, but it's not, guys. It's not. We get in the almost 40 Celsius easily. And Amy says, "Yes, Canada is freezing right now." I was gonna look up what it's like in BC. It's usually pretty mild there this time of year, like, like 10 degrees, 8 degrees is Celsius. And I thought, I wonder if it's freezing there. break us out of this ice cube when you get back to Ontario. Okay, I will. I will be doing a live, I'm actually gonna be interviewing Nicola Farmer from my hotel in Cancun. The last 4 days, I'm gonna be in a hotel in Cancun, and, we'll see. So Victoria, Canada, CA weather. Let's see what it is there now, and show off. Yeah, I know. Well, we're nomads. It's 12 Celsius in BC. Like, see what I mean? What is it Fahrenheit? Just for you guys, 54. It's always there. It's really windy though. But where is it where I am? Toronto, probably -12. No, -6. -6 feels like probably -12, I'm sure. Yeah, it does. It literally says, feels like -12. Shoot me now. We're not meant, animals are meant to be in this cold weather, but we're not. Like, this is what's an anomaly. Like, this -15 in Quebec. I know. Are you in Quebec City? I love Quebec City. But we're not meant, like, this cannot be our planet. We are not equipped at all to manage really hot weather or really cold weather, and yet my dog can handle it no matter what. I will tell you though, when it's been -6 or more, my dog's not happy. She's like, "Get me out of here," because their little paws are probably freezing off. Um, 25 Celsius today. Where is that? Welcome to Arizona. It's nice here. You in Arizona? We'll be there. And CRB, I'm gonna be at the mid-March. There's an event there in Sedona. Jimmy Church talks about it a lot, and, I'm gonna be there. So, but I'm manifesting magic to happen there. I wanna be a speaker there. I wanna be a speaker. Can anybody get me an in? I wanna get a speaker. I was supposed to be talking to Jimmy Church, but I'm feeling a little ghosted. I reached out a few times, and I'd like to be a guest again, and I'm not getting any response. So I don't wanna be that nagging woo-woo weirdo, so I'm gonna just drop it. I'm gonna drop it now, but I'm trying to manifest it. I'm trying to speak to my dad. My dad's on the other side, and hopefully, I'm like, "Dad, hook me up, man." My dad was a musician. Probably still is a musician in the other veil, on the other side of the veil. And it makes us appreciate, I will totally appreciate summer without winter. I don't need it. I'm good. But I do know people who have moved to from California to even the hills of Sedona so they can have 4 seasons, because it does get a bit cool there, but it's not cold. Like, the cold will make me appreciate summer, but I don't need -6 or -20 to appreciate it. That's no. Okay, 78 Fahrenheit. See, that's perfect. That's perfect. Hey, Lily. Lily, she's one of my favorite clients. I'm not a fan of extreme cold, but I love the seasons. Yeah, the seasons are totally cool because, like, we were in Mexico. We lived in Mexico for 6 months, and it it got too hot. Like, we were there until June 1st or the end of May a couple of years ago, and it was like we didn't even leave. Never climatized. So after March, we hardly left our place because it was too, you literally were just drenched hot all the time. So I don't wanna be somewhere where it's like that all year round either. I like somewhere that's just mild, that's all, and not raining all the time, which is BC. I have a feeling, CRB, I'm gonna fall head over heels in love with Arizona. I'm not American, I can't move there, I don't wanna not have a healthcare system, I don't wanna pay a fortune for it either, so it won't happen in that way, but I think that there's a good chance we might just keep going there at this time of year. Well, probably earlier, January. We're staying here till mid-February for a reason. There's something happening until mid-February, but after that, we're out of here. Hopefully, it's not too bad of a weather. I'm not a fan of extreme colds, but I love, yeah, that's good. Okay, everyone. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. My TikTokers, please go over to my YouTube and sign up. That's where you're going to get notifications. I'm live at 8 o'clock every day, p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I will head over tomorrow. We are going to talk about moon signs. There's a link there, how you can find out what your moon sign is. Wednesday, we're going to talk about the U.S. the Canadian astrological chart and Carney's astrological chart. I'm going to mix them together and see like what's going on, what's the predictions around this. And because I recently learned that Canada, and I'm going to share this news with you on Wednesday, that Canada was designed from the get-go to be used by what's called the four pillars by the monarchy, the oh my gosh, the Vatican, and two other ones. And it was built on the premise that we were going to serve this four pillar. So I'm going to talk about that later, y'all. And thanks. Yep, we'll see you back tomorrow. And I want to see Cardi's got a mix in that I've done. You can look up on my YouTube or my TikTok. I have done this before, but we're going to address it more moving forward. So thank you, everyone. And we will see you tomorrow. Namaste.